How's it going, gentlemen? Another live stream. Yeah, I've been kind of doing live streams every day for the last few days now because I've had the flu. I think I've had COVID, as I've said in my last stream, but getting over the worst of it now. This is the ninth day, so it shouldn't be too long till I'm back to full recovery. But I do feel much better today than I did yesterday and the day before, so I'm pleased about that. So today's discussion is going to be about quitting porn, improving your social anxiety, therefore improving your dating life. Because all these things go together, even though some guys might not find it comfortable to speak about. But the fact is that they do. Usually, when guys have got an addiction to porn and it's become a problem, it's because they're dealing with anxiety or they're not dealing with it very well and they don't have the confidence to go out and meet women, speak to women, and get a real relationship, and become successful in their business or in their life, or find their purpose in life. It's a combination of those things, and I've personally been through it. I've been through porn addiction and beaten it and succeeded, and coached so many clients, and many times in coaching conversations, clients will bring up this problem with porn. It won't be easy for them to talk about, but they'll mention it. They'll say, "Yeah, I got a problem. I've got to stop watching that. It's becoming an addiction that I'm not really pleased about." So again, not here to judge anyone. Obviously, not here to help. Like I said, I've had my battles with it as well. So I speak from experience and made a lot of good, excuse me, progress. So I know what I'm talking about. Second here. So we'll get into some. I'm going to explain some ways that you can overcome it. But it's like everything. It's not going to be easy. Don't expect it to be easy. Um, but you can beat it at the same time. It depends on what mindset you're in. It's easy when you're in a good mindset and you've got like goals and you're taking action. But it's easier. But it's not always easy at the beginning when guys are not in a good mental state. That's when it can become a real problem. Porn, when you're all addictions can, when you're not in a good mental state and you're depressed and you're not feeling good, that's when you're most vulnerable to these things. Let us know where you're coming from as well, guys. If you're on the last stream yesterday, yesterday's stream was really good. I'm not sure if we can top that. We'll see. And if you've got any questions, put them down there. Like I said, guys, apologies. I'm not 100% because I'm still getting over this flu. I think I had COVID. So my energy levels, I'm trying my hardest to fight it, but I just don't have the same amount of energy that I'd usually have, and I think that's expected. I don't know if any of you have had this, but man, it's a lot stronger than I expected it to be. Because of hearing on the media, being quite young, it's really affected me. Like at the start, I just thought, oh, this ain't that bad. This is just like any flu that I've ever had, but it just feels like it's been eating at me, going on and on. The days, it just feels like it hasn't ended. It's got a real momentum. You know what, guys? Let me just get some water. Right, give me a sec. Let's just see. Let's let this stream pick up. Get your questions in. I just got to get some water here. I'm dehydrated. So yeah, if you missed yesterday's stream, check it out. It was a good one. I basically spoke about who should pay on dates. Should the man pay or should the woman pay? Some really good Sorry, let's get some really good insight. Oh, that's a bit better. Yeah, as I said, usually when I've got a flu, I usually get over it really quickly. I've got a good immune system, but this one is just like, man, I'm battling it. It would be good to get some questions in, guys. Okay, excuse me. I'll kick this off. I'll start the talk off, and if any questions come, I can get into them. Usually, we get the questions about half an hour in or something like that. Give people time to come on. So, porn addiction. I know it's not always a pleasant conversation. It's not always a conversation I want to have, but sometimes you got to have these conversations to move forward. Especially for guys, I feel like a problem shared is a problem solved. So talking about it in a positive way can help you to overcome it. Now, I'll go back to a story that I've told many times. I remember when I was in my early 20s and I was really struggling with everything, especially with talking to women and confidence and getting a job. And I was really depressed. I was really isolated in my head. And I was watching a lot of porn. I was addicted. I was definitely addicted to it for that period. And I remember thinking, I got to get out of this, man. I can't be watching this stuff. This is not getting me anywhere. I'm not feeling good. You're getting a quick high and then you're feeling awful, and then it's not real. It's not reality. And I remember it dawned on me that the only way I was going to break out of this porn addiction was by going out, facing my fears, and speaking to women, and not just speaking to women. That was a part of it, but by really getting my life back on track. And I knew I had to try. I knew I just couldn't continue living the way that I was living, in that kind of vicious cycle of isolation, junk food, porn, watching that stuff. It doesn't satisfy you in the long run. It's not good for you, obviously, right? It's not good. It's certainly not good for your relationships. So when I started going out and I kind of like found my passion in life, I figured out what I wanted to do. At that point, it became kind of obvious to me that was the way to quit porn. It was more, I mean, trying to quit porn on its own is really difficult, if that makes sense. Because if you've got nothing else to look forward to and you've got nothing else to put your focus on, it's going to be really hard. I mean, I'm sure some people can do it, right? People definitely can. But that didn't work for me at that time. I needed to change my focus. I needed to get out of the house. I needed to meet people. I needed to have goals. I needed to start a business. And that's what I did. And through, obviously it took time, but it kind of picked up in, you know, maybe a couple of months. And then I started like talking to women, going on dates, going to seminars, making new male friends, getting my ideas down, educating myself on how to start a business. All these things really helped me. And then eventually I quit watching porn because I got a girlfriend. My life went really well. I became successful. Obviously, it was a process. It wasn't an overnight thing. But that's always been my explanation to any guy who says to me, how do I quit porn? How do I stop watching it? You basically got to, redirect your focus. You got to get out of the house. You got to start socializing. It sounds like you got to do a lot of things, but it's not that many things that you need to do. Obviously, it's taking action. Now, obviously, if it was as easy as that, and it can be depending on the mindset that you're in, then every guy would just quit porn. But it's not that easy. It does take a strong person. That's interesting. People treat me different in a bad way when I watch porn. It's like they automatically know. Not sure that they do know, to be honest. But like you said, that's not really the important factor. Is how it makes you feel. That doesn't make you feel good. But yeah, it doesn't make you feel good, does it? It's not something that reinforces self-esteem. But taking action and being accountable does. When you start, see, this is the thing I want to share today. What is the hard thing, but anyone can do it, and it's really about pushing through that horrible resistance, the emotional resistance that every one of us, we all have it at some stage. It's inescapable, and a lot of guys, right, will choose to not work through that resistance and face their fears and do the things that they've got to do to be successful, they would rather watch porn, because when you watch porn, obviously, it's like it's a bit like McDonald's, isn't it? It's a quick fix. Like, it tastes good in the moment, but then it leaves you feeling lethargic after, and then you know it's bad for you. Similar. I know they're different. Maybe not a great analogy, but you see my point. But whereas cooking a healthy meal takes a bit more effort, it might not taste as sugary and as sweet as McDonald's, but the effects later on are really good. And that's what I'm trying to teach and explain today. I think a lot of you intelligent, you'll get it, with replacing a good habit instead of a bad habit. Bad habit being watching porn. But yeah, that's really what it comes down to. If you can make yourself socialize and take action when you don't feel like doing it, and you feel down, or you feel you feel stuck, you know what I mean, emotionally, you can overcome any addiction. You really can. And that's something that you've got to practice like a lot. It's not just like, oh, you just do it once and then you're out of it. It's not like that. You got to keep doing it. It's like it's rinse and repeat. It's a habit. It's a bit like a boxer that has to go to the gym 6 days a week, and they're pretty much doing the same thing every day. But that's what it takes to get to the top level. That's what it takes to be successful. So today we're talking about how to overcome porn through positive habit building, and how to recognize the bad habit. So that's something as well that's sometimes good to look at, is what is the consistent pattern that's making you watch porn? It might be every single time you think about your dating life, you get down. And when you get down, you look for a high. So you go towards porn and you watch porn to get some high again, and then you back down again. So it's good to be aware. And I know for me, when I was struggling with it in my 20s, anytime I would think about, oh, I don't have a girlfriend, I wish I had a girlfriend, no, I'm such a loser, I feel down, or it's never going to happen for me. Anytime I'd go into that thought process, it would make me feel bad. I wouldn't want to feel bad. I wouldn't want to think about didn't have a girlfriend, and bad social anxiety, and wasn't really making much money. I didn't have a job, and things were just everything. The walls were just closing in. I'd be like, oh, I need a high. I need to watch porn. I need some excitement. I need an escape. And then after watching it, I'd feel guilty. I'd be like, oh no, I can't believe I watched this again. Not again. Oh, how did I do? You get into like a vicious circle. So it's really coming at figuring a way to break that pattern, to break that. And a lot of it, like I said, if not all of it, is making yourself take responsibility, take action, go out, socialize, face your fears, face your, work on your dream. When inside you don't feel like doing it, you don't feel you don't always feel good, and that's really, see, people talk about success a lot. People have an idea with success that when you're successful, you're this person who's always confident, who always feels good. Everything always goes well. You've got a constant influx of money. Everybody likes you. And it's not like that. The reality is it ain't like that behind the scenes. It's not. That's just what's on movies. That's ideas that humans create to bullshit a lot of time, to entertain themselves and to live a lie. Success is constant work. It's a constant process of building a habit. And I'll say that again. When you become successful, you don't stop working on the habits, because if you do, you'll slide back down to being unsuccessful again. So back to my point with quitting porn, improving your social anxiety, your dating life, and everything else around that, you got to keep working at it. And when you keep working through these bad emotions and these negative addictive patterns, you will come to a good point. Yes, you will be rewarded. Eventually, you will hit. I guess you can call it the honeymoon period where things automatically just start going well, but it's because you've put in the work. I'm all right. I'm doing better today. How are you? I'm still getting over this flu, but every day is getting a little bit better. So hopefully I'll be 100%. Please God soon. Anyone else got anything to add on this that you want to add? Personal struggles, fire ahead. Be excuse me. Sorry. Be brave, guys. Box below. So, and a lot of it as well is being prepared to have this conversation with yourself, which is not an easy conversation to have. It's never easy to admit an addiction. It's never, well, unless depending on where you're at, but generally it's not an easy thing to face your fears and to have the conversation that goes with it. But what I can definitely tell you is you're going to be happy and relieved when you do have this conversation with yourself and you do say, look, I'm ready to face this now, because that's how the addiction keeps going. A lot of people are just not ready to face it. The denial of the addiction is what keeps it going. But when you decide to take it on and be accountable and be honest, it's difficult initially, but then you feel great after, and great things are going to come for that. So just to summarize it and make it simple, if you get a real relationship, it's going to be a lot easier to not watch porn, right? And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I know there are some men in relationships and they still watch porn and they've got a girlfriend. Um, I can never really understand that, to be honest, but hey, I'm not judging, again, each to their own. If you've got a decent relationship, then why, for me, there would just be no motivation to want to watch porn. If you're getting the real thing and you've got a real sex life and you've got a partner, then what's the point of watching porn? But I can understand guys that are single and don't have a partner and don't have a sex life. I can totally understand, it being harder for them. I've been there, been in that situation. So for most guys, I'm imagining if they was to get their ideal girlfriend, quitting porn would be a lot easier. So that's why my teaching and my encouragement is around encouraging you to do that if that's something that you want to do. And also as well, like I said, it's having social connections, it's speaking to other people, it's going out, it's connecting, it's enjoying socializing. That's really important as well. Well, like I said, the way I did it, Jeremiah, was I just took action in every area of my life. I faced all my fears, and that gave me self esteem and confidence. And through that process, I got a girlfriend. So once I got a girlfriend and fell in love, there was no there was no appetite to watch porn. Like I just lost all interest in it, and I just forgot about it, to be honest. So I know it may not be the same for everyone, but for me, like I had to go to extreme measures of really becoming a successful person, because that's what was always getting me down in the first place, not being successful at anything in life and feeling like a failure. Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah. I should have mentioned that actually. The loneliness obviously is a big factor when you're lonely, and fantasizing. That's it's human. It's human nature if you're on your own. So, but I honestly feel today by coming on and just being able to talk about it amongst good people will help you. It will help you a lot actually, because I think sometimes for guys not being able to speak about it, feeling ashamed and embarrassed, makes it harder to overcome it. So it's good that we've got an understanding group of people, myself included, that we can have these conversations out loud and not feel nervous about being judged or anything like that. Yeah, definitely. The connection takes the appetite away from watching that stuff. In a way, I think it's hard. It's much harder today though because it's so available. Back in the day, um, when I was struggling with watching porn, it wasn't that available. Like you couldn't really get it on the internet. Like it was like friends that gave me DVDs of it and things like that. But obviously today, even when you're not even looking for it, you got these things popping up trying to trick you and get you to watch porn, which is really annoying. Like it's it's everywhere now, so it's harder, much harder. There's no doubt about it to resist the temptation of watching it because when images are being thrown in your face without you even looking for them, of course it's going to be difficult. How you guys doing? What do you guys think today? Do you think it's harder to quit porn than it was 10, 15 years ago? In my opinion, it definitely is. Because back in my day, or 15 years ago, or 20 years ago, it wasn't available. There wasn't this, like, there weren't all these different sites coming up. Like you had to go to like a video shop and rent it out, or you needed to know a friend that could borrow you pornography DVDs and things like that. But today um, it's just being thrown at you, and you got all these annoying sites that are trying to get you to click. So sometimes, like, I'm just like things get sent to your Facebook or things, and it's frustrating and try and get you to watch these videos and stuff. I'm just waiting for the questions, guys. I'm reading if it makes sure I haven't missed anything. Interesting. Jeremiah says, I think it's harder because sex isn't being um, more promoted. I feel sex is being, I'll bet, being more promoted than 15 years ago. Yeah, definitely because of the social media. Any other thoughts, guys? Anything I've said that's helped so far? I'm just trying to like share everything that I know. Hopefully, something I say will hit a nerve, will help you. It will be the right information that you need at this particular time. I know this isn't like, you know, sometimes you've just got to really get sick of the addiction in order to change it. That has worked for me as well. That definitely worked for me with stop cutting out junk food or reducing it and eating, changing my diet. I got to a stage where it was like felt like a glutton. I just got sick of eating cakes, chocolates, and fizzy drinks and takeaways every day. It literally, I kind of ate myself sick of it. And then I got this massive inspiration and like passion and new excitement to start educating myself on diet and changing my diet, which I did and I have been. So that's been a similar sort of parallel to quitting porn, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to get sick of feeding a negative addiction, and that can spur you on to quit it. Can't really give you a time frame to be honest, because it depends. It really just does depend on the person. So I wish I could say, but I couldn't really give you a time frame. That's a good point. That's a good point. By the way, guys, hit that like button if you're enjoying this stream and subscribe to the channel. If you're enjoying the videos and you're getting a lot of confidence from it, it's helping you. Um, Spooky ZO2 says not just porn, but body exposure nowadays is normalized now within social media. It may not be looked at as porn, but it's a similar thing in a way. Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. Like you said, it might not be as hardcore as some porn, but it's still, enticing you. It's gonna, obviously it's gonna tempt people. You got naked pictures being posted up every minute. Well, that's good. That's really good if you've done that. No porn for 4 months. Well done. How did you feel? I think as well. I think that you need a goal as well. I think for a lot of guys, it's not gonna be enough of a motivation just to quit porn. You've got to have, like, for me, that's how I done it. It was like, okay, well, I want to quit porn, but why? And my motivation was because I want to get a girlfriend at the time, and that's what helped me because when you if you're not watching porn, you're going to feel good about that, right? Because you're being disciplined. But at some point, if there's not a larger goal, that could easily start to lose. They could get boring. It could be like, well, why am I doing this? But if you've got a goal on top of it, i.e., I want to quit porn so I can make more money, for example, be better in my business, or get a girlfriend, or make friends, then you're in a more stronger place. Okay, that's great. You feel less anxious around talking to people. That's great. Pleased for you. That's a great benefit. The more you isolate, the more you watch porn. The more you watch porn, the more you tend to isolate yourself because of the shame and the low dopamine. Good point. It's true. Yeah. See, that's the bad thing with these addictions. You watch porn, gives you a dopamine hit, satisfies you to a certain degree, and then you don't feel like going out and interacting with real people, and and going on a date or being around friends. This is a possibility, right? But and then that takes you down a whole different rabbit hole, which can be bad, where that can go into mental health problems, because now you're isolating, you're avoiding people, you're not improving your social skills, you're not exercising those social skills, and there's obviously there's consequences of these habits, as there are good habits and bad. So sometimes it's good to recognize what you're doing, what's going on here. They go, hang on a minute, I got to stop getting these little dopamine hits, because dopamine hits, as you guys know, they don't last long. But real connection with people, although that can be challenging to get for all of us in today's world we live in, once you get it, it's a lot longer lasting. I know, for example, I've got a good friend and a client who usually comes over to London and does around 11 days coaching with me. So we have a coaching business relationship and a friendship outside of it. And those 11 days, we always both say we get such a strong level of human connection, which is amazing. It's hard to put into words. Like, I don't know if any of you have ever spent like 11 days with someone that you're close with, and you go out, and you go cinema, you do the theatre together, you have conversations, you have coffee, you just have a real intimate time. It really does satisfy, without sounding too deep, your spirit, your soul, to a level that pornography couldn't do that. And it makes you realize what's important and what's not important. But I'm not saying it's easy to create that, because it's not always easy to create an opportunity where you can spend that much time. I was very fortunate, so was he, that we had this connection. Appreciate everyone who's commenting, by the way. Well done for being brave, because it's not an easy thing to talk about, especially amongst men. Good to see you, Peter. I have a problem with hair loss at age 22. I can take finasteride, which nukes your bodies. I don't know too much about that one. I've heard a bit about that, but I can understand it. I've done some videos on hair loss because I've been losing my hair quite slowly as well. So I don't know if you've seen in those videos, Peter. They might help you. So have a look at those. 100%. Going out and meeting women and taking action is so important, and talking to people. That's kind of the solution to this problem. But you learn a lot, just from having conversations like what we're doing today. This is how you get over these things. It's just that when I got over it, I wasn't teaching back then. Obviously, I was struggling, and I was on my own journey, and I didn't really have I didn't have anybody to talk about my problem with porn. Back then, I wouldn't have been open. Then it was a different time. I was in a different place. I was younger, so I had to figure it out for myself. But luckily, I was able to do it. And the way that I did it, like I've kind of repeated on this stream and other videos, was I set goals and I went out and faced them. And the main goal for me, my motivation for quitting porn was I had to get a girlfriend. Because I always wanted that. I always wanted a real girlfriend. I wanted to fall in love. It was good in a way, because even though I was quite young back then, I kind of knew who. Well, I didn't know who I was fully. I'm not going to say that, because that wouldn't be true. But I knew where I wanted to go. I knew what I wanted, and I knew that I didn't want to be watching porn every day and being single and depressed and lonely. I wanted to get a girlfriend and, succeed in my life. So that's what I did. And that's what helped me to pack it in, stop looking at it. Well done, JB. That's great that you're doing well with the NoFap. Keep with it. Hit that like button, guys. Every time you hit that like, you're going to burn some calories, man. I'm telling you, you're going to get some good luck, man. Hit that like button. Share the stream as well. Subscribe. What's the first step, in your opinion, when you're so socially anxious, you just avoid people and situations for a long time, even missing opportunities? What is the first? Well, I think the first step is what you just said, is to really realize what's going on here and what you're missing out on. That's the first step. But the next step is about having a goal. I've said it before, you need goals within goals. So I don't think it's enough for someone just to say, and I do this with all my clients, and it's proven to work again and again. I don't think it's enough for a young man just to say, I've got to get over my social anxiety. I don't think that's enough to motivate him. It's a difficult thing to overcome, as you know, to begin with. You need a goal within that. So it's like, well, I want to overcome my social anxiety / so I can make friends. That would be a good goal. Or I want to overcome my social anxiety so I can set a business up and make money and interact with people. Or I want to overcome my social anxiety so I can become a teacher or be a public speaker. So you need a goal, Blue Salamander, within getting over the anxiety, because if you don't have that goal, it's going to be really hard to motivate yourself, because it's going to be quite ambiguous, quite vague, because it's a broad one, isn't it? To say that I want to get over my anxiety, there's nothing wrong with that, and that's correct, but that's really broad. There's a lot of information within that. How can you be more clearer? So I would ask you guys the questions: if it is anxiety you're dealing with, why do you want to overcome it? What is your goal? What is your end goal? Is it a girlfriend? Is it a business? Is it friendships? Is it to be really confident? You need to know what that is. And that's how I did it. Like I said, I was like, right, I've got to quit porn because I want to get a girlfriend. And in order to get a girlfriend, I have to face my social anxiety. See, that it all made sense. And it made me it enabled me to be successful at doing it. But if I was a bit unclear with it, like some of you might be today, then I don't think I would have done it. It would have took longer. Right. Okay. Yeah, I really feel like, okay, if I could give a message to young people at university. Now, I didn't go university, right? But what I can speak on is it's a really well, it's a special time in your life, right? Because you're only going to go university once. So you really want to make the most of it. And you don't want to be in a situation where in the next 5, 10 years, you're looking back at your university days and you're regretting the fact that you didn't push yourself enough. You didn't come outside your comfort zone and face your social fears and engage with people. Don't let that happen. Change it while you can now, and just understand that everybody in university deep down is going through what you're going through. Most people are going to be anxious. There's many reasons to be anxious at uni, that the exams, the studying, new people. But if you change your mindset and follow the mindset that I teach on most of these videos and become fearless, you can really start to excel by facing your fears and changing the way that you think about them. You're welcome, man. It's a pleasure for me to talk about this. Thanks for listening, and thanks for adding your part, guys. We are going to keep getting the numbers up on these live streams. I used to get a lot of people coming on, 30, 40. It's slowed down a little bit because of the COVID, but it will pick up. I'm confident of that. So the more of you like, share, add your thoughts, the more we'll build these streams back up and keep helping bigger numbers. You're welcome. Yeah, I agree. You asked a similar question yesterday. So if you haven't had a girlfriend before, well, I wouldn't bring it up unless I had to bring it up, right? I would focus on just really making a good connection on the date. But look, having a girlfriend's not everything. It's a bit like the old days where you go to a job interview and they're like, "We're only going to take people on that have got experience." But at some point, no one's got experience. Everybody has to have the opportunity to gain it, and I don't see it any different with not having a girlfriend yet. So don't allow that to become a weakness. Focus on your strengths. So if you focus on building a good connection on a date, eventually you will get a girlfriend, right? I think a lot of it for you is not worrying about what people think, what someone would think um, if they knew that you hadn't had a girlfriend yet. But it's not really a big deal, I don't think. Any more questions? Anything more anybody wants to add to what we've been talking about today? Guys, I'm just trying to get my strength here. I don't know if any of you've had this COVID or this flu, man. I just want to keep moaning about it, but man, I never had anything like this. This is really hard dealing. It's weird. It's not as much like as a flu that where you feel sick. I'm not vomiting, thank God. But it's just one where you just feel ill. You just feel like drained. And every time I'm getting my strength back again and talking and feeling good, it's pulling me back down again. It's like a constant fight, which is why I have to take these mini breaks. So it might look a bit awkward on these streams. It's because I'm just really battling with this virus. It's just kind of like draining me, but I can feel my immune system fighting it. Like I'm getting stronger every day. But it's just goes to show how much it takes out of you. I really feel sorry for older people, man, because I'm quite young and fit, and my diet's pretty good, but it's taking it out of me. So I can't imagine what it's like for elderly people, people with more underlying conditions. It must be horrible for a man. It really must be, because it's I kind of didn't really take it too serious until I got it, and now I can see what people were complaining about. It's not nice. Any more questions, guys? Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, sometimes you just got to ignore these sort of societal expectations, like feeling that you have to have had a girlfriend at a certain age, because it's different for everyone. It's different. You can't always say by a certain age you're going to have this, you're going to have that. We all go through different things at different times, so there's no exact rule book on how to live the perfect life, and things don't always happen when you want. People get married at different ages, different times. We have these ideas in our culture that when you're this age, you're gonna go university. Well, maybe you do at a certain point, but it just life doesn't exactly work out like that. I mean, some people succeed younger in life. Some people go on and find love later on. It's not the same for everyone. So with getting a girlfriend, some people didn't have the opportunity. Some people might have grown up in a small town and they didn't really have opportunities, where other people have grown up in a big city, lots of people. So they've got more chance of getting a girlfriend or having several girlfriends in their life. So sometimes you've got to look at that. There's certain things that are not in your control. And you just have to kind of let go of putting pressure on yourself with these ideas. You know what I mean? Some people I didn't go to university, but some people do. That wasn't my chosen path, but I became a successful entrepreneur. Some people are not destined to do what I did. They're destined to study at uni and go on and do what they're meant to do. So it's not like all of us are exactly carbon cutouts, but these ideas in society make it feel like we are, but in reality, it's not like that. I was quite a late starter in dating compared to other people that I grew up around my area. I got teased for it, but looking back now, the people were just ignorant. I ended up doing better than them later on. So I kind of just needed like more time to get confidence, and through whatever reason, some of it was my own responsibility, but it took a bit more time for me. So it's understanding that, having a mature understanding on your situation, and not caring too much what people think, because it's a losing battle caring about what people think too much. Because I mean, I'm not even. What's the point? Yeah, that's true. Find people with the same values. Yeah, I'm just thinking. I really want to just because my schedule has been a bit crazy because of being unwell this week. I want to start like doing a regular stream at a regular time, like before. It'd be a bit easier. I think more people will come on then, because they'll know the time rather than just going live randomly, which I do enjoy, but it's not as professional. So I'm going to do that after this week once I get over this flu. But yeah, guys, just take one step at a time. Getting over addictions isn't an overnight thing. Take the advice from today from me and from other people in the group, and take the bits that can work for you, and use your own initiative and stick with it. You know what, guys? I think I'm done today. I've done the best I can. I just feel just absolutely drained. I'm going to need a bit more rest. So I appreciate everyone coming on. We had a good thorough talk today. Not as long as yesterday, but it was quite intense. It was a challenging topic. So another good stream. I feel like we got a lot out of it in 45 minutes. We covered a lot. Yeah, I wanted to go longer. I'm just feeling a bit ill. So subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more stuff coming. Coaching programs coming up as well. Fearless events. So get in touch if anybody is interested in doing coaching for dating, social anxiety, addiction, and anything around that. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for coming on. I hope you guys are doing good. And thanks for supporting me as well, especially through this time.